Welcome, gentlemen, for another security leadership discussion. And this discussion is about a very special kind of security management, which is full of paradoxes. In fact, when as security professionals we talk about various sectors of industrial security, there is, I believe, one sector which is full of paradoxes, and that is hotel security. In fact, hotel security is a kind of security where you need to be invisible yet assure the security, not only security of assets but also of customers. Customers which are full of attitude. Few of them may be having obnoxious kind of behavior, but then as security professionals, one need to take everything in stride and consider whatever is good for them, and that becomes part of their security approach. I am very happy to introduce Mr. Vitthal Teli here, who is an expert speaker, and he is the one who will bring to you the clear concept of how and why a special approach is adopted when it comes to hospitality security, especially hotel security. Mr. Teli is CPP, PSP, and PCI. He is currently Director of Security based in Doha, Qatar, leading security and safety functions for Park Hyatt Luxury Hotels. He holds Post Graduate Diploma in Fire Protection from MIT Institute, Pune. He is a seasoned hospitality industry security management professional with more than 20 years of demonstrated work experience spanning across hotels, resorts, cruise lines in India, United States, and Middle East. He has successfully set up security and safety functions in pre-opening startups and operating environments in compliance with the assigned standards, local business practices, and social customs. Vitthal is member of ASIS International and Triple Crown holder. Those who know about CPP, PSP, and PSI individually separately, they also would appreciate that holding all these three certifications together, which is referred as Triple Crown. It is a very distinct achievement, and he is also member of Overseas Security Advisory Council (OSAC), and most importantly, he is representing Doha, Qatar, as country counselor of International Council for Security and Safety Management, which is in forefront in professionalizing the security professionals. So, Vithal, it is my singular pleasure and privilege to welcome you and to bring in the subject of discussion. You have been in the hospitality sector for a very long time, over 2 decades. The paradoxes which you see are difficult to manage, or these are what you take in stride as everyday part of professional life or security professionals in hotel security?
First of all, good afternoon, Captain Taggy, and thank you for inviting me to speak about this very close to my heart subject. And thanks to all who have joined to listen to this discussion as well. I would say it's challenging, but at the same time, it's very interesting as well. So yes, at times we may find it difficult to provide the best in class security services or security at the hotel, but at the same time it has to be unintrusive as well. So yes, in current scenario, like the market is like full of various hotel companies or hospitality sectors. They are like providing the lodging to the travelers and to the business travelers as well. And yes, they are looking for the along with the rooms, along with the lodging, along with the food and service, they are looking at the security aspect as well. So at times it is challenging, but at times it is very, very interesting that but after handling like even the other intricacies of the security, but still you can provide the best of the security as well.
Yes, Vithal, when we look at hotel security, whether at the gate, main gate, or the portico, or the lobby, or even in the guest rooms, security must be provided, and security directly relates to your trademark, goodwill, and any breach of security. I know how hard security professionals and the top management would try uh, so that name is not mentioned anywhere in the news. That is the kind of reputation uh, which is so important for security professionals. So the moment security people are first encountering the guest, the visitor, what is first thing which is ingrained to them for basic discharge of their responsibilities?
Sir, at the hotel industry, generally a security operative or a security officer play a dual role. Basically, he is I would say, customer service executive or ambassador of the hotel, and he is handling or he is doing the security job as well. So he needs to be very welcoming, very courteous while speaking to the guest or welcoming the guest to the hotel, but and at the same time he is remembering his core responsibilities, that is the security. So he play the dual role, be it at the entrance of the hotel, be it even his while he is working at the door frame metal detector or handling the handheld metal detector, but he should be smiling. So while doing the customer service responsibilities, he is doing the security job as well. And there are various aspects like he is working at the main gate, he is working at the hotel entrance where he is handling the thorough security scanning, and then whenever he is dealing with the guest inside the hotel while handling the guest complaints or doing the handling the complaints regarding to the guest room lock or safe. So at every time he needs to be very courteous because he is a part of the hotel. So that is the main difference when it comes to the industrial security and the hotel security. So at the hotel security, he plays the dual role, like being a customer service and at the same time handling the security responsibilities.
Yeah, definitely. That's true that the first encounter a guest would have while entering the property, as you say, the hotel. They are the person who would ensure trust and confidence of guest in your establishment. But when customer comes to hotel premises, to the portico, how he is handled, car parking is facilitated, his luggage is unloaded. It is a standard that these are to be scanned also. And finally, customer reaches the lobby and maybe approaching the reception counter. Here, there is no role of security barring at the gate entrance of the lobby where customers' luggage, belongings may be handled, screened. So now customer is inside the premises, going to the room, coming back multiple time, and he would be subjected to same kind of routine. Do you get complaints from your guest that this is in excess, and how do you handle such complaints?
At times when the guest is staying for a longer period of time, definitely like if he's staying for like 3 4 days, then and when he is going out of the hotel and coming back to the hotel, he has to go through these guidelines or these security procedures. And at times, yes, guest complains about it. But if you see the incidences, what has happened all over the world, not only, I would say, not only Asia, not only Middle East, or even for that matter, Africa. So, looking at these incidences, even by now, guest has realized the importance of these security procedures, which is being done at the hotels, and now guests are more cooperative to these procedures. And as we discussed, like when guest comes to the porch, like, so security, he discreetly does many things at the same time. Yes, welcoming guests at the guest porch, ensuring that guest is not leaving any valuables inside the car. All the guest luggages has taken out by the concierge. Valet, when the valet is taking car, the security officer has his eyes to see that if there is any damage to the car, so that they can mention that on the valet tag, so that guests should not come back later and say that it must have happened at the hotel or valet must have caused it. So these are the multiple things at the same time a security officer can do while handling the main porch. So it's not only one or two things, at multiple things he is doing at the same time. So at this time now we see it's like a guest has the more of a acceptance towards the security procedures, and there are quite a less number of complaints what we receive. And when you explain them well with the courteous manner and diplomatically, they are more tend to understand.
Uh, I believe that you might be having good information about the luggage guest walks in with, and especially those guests who would stay for more than a day or two. Then every time they come in and go out, and finally at the time of check-in, is there any accounting done? What belongings guests brought in, and it remains, kind of secret to me, and I keep on wondering what happens from security angle.
Uh, Uh, Captain Taggy, for this I would say, yes. When guests are coming to the hotel, the security objective for scanning the luggages to make sure that they don't have any contraband or the illegal or the things or weapons what they are not supposed to carry to the hotel, it's not there in the bags. So that is what the security has to verify while the guests are coming to the hotel. So that is the main objective, I would say. And for every time when they go out, like whatever small bags or the shopping bags, whatever they are carrying, the hotel, they have to make sure that all their bags are scanned every time. There won't be a cross checking or accountability, because while a guest checking out at hotels, they will not scan the bags. As far as like if we feel or if we see that like there are like some items are missing from the guest room, till that time we generally will not scan the bags while guests are checking out. But otherwise, whenever they are coming back to the hotel, even while checking in or even from the time they are going out for some shopping or so, every time you have to make sure that you are checking their bags at the X-ray scanner.
Fine, that was one side of what you do, checking. But accounting, how many bags were brought in, how many bags were brought in next day and third day, and totally how many bags that guest is going out. I'm sure that if there are some methodology, maybe these are secret and not to be shared, but then this is how it is going to be. Uh, One second. So, I'm sorry. So that was, part of kind of thought I had in mind that maybe it is good thing to do if hotel industry is not doing it already, because a movie comes into my mind, and I'm sure you must have also enjoyed that movie. Darshan checks in.
Unfortunately,
Checks in is about movie of a chimp which is domesticated and trained by a small time criminal who would check in the hotel, bringing in one big suitcase in which chimp is inside, and the chimp is trained to steal jewelry and other precious belongings of the guest. So Dunstan checks in. That's why it comes to my mind. Management first thing does to security briefing whenever it happens, and first mandate is that you must be ensuring security while being invisible. You should not be seen. So this is the topmost paradox, that you should not be seen, but still you should ensure the total security. How this is handled?
yes, at times that is quite tough. The expectations of the management that like you have to provide the complete security, but you should not be intrusive or you should not be more of a visible. Um, so like in current scenario, like you have to use your technical equipments very well. What are the gadgets, whatever you have, like the access control or a CCTV, discrete monitoring from the CCTV room as well. So you are quite dependent on these equipments while you keep on looking at things, you keep on watching things, and then at times even for a psychological impact on the adversaries or the people who has the bad intention, there should be at least a least amount of security has to be seen around in the mainly in the like at the lobby area or the public areas, because it has a psychological effect, because wherever we go, like even at the airport, you see that like there is a presence of the security which makes guests or the travelers feel that the area is well secured. So yes, it needs to be discreet. It sometimes it need not to be too much, but at the same time there should be a visible security as well. So going forward, management needs to understand that it cannot be that you can have an invisible security. That security has to be seen around, and still you will feel the security. So there should be a balance.
And I, being fellow security professionals, when I go to any hotel lobby, I see someone discreetly sitting in a corner, minding his own business, which appears to be not none of his business. He does something else. So, in hospitality sector, in hotel security, how common is customer profiling?
So nowadays it's a quite a common, because in hospitality industry you need to be very welcoming. Like you don't ask questions to the guest at the entrance of the hotel where you want to go and what is the purpose of their visit. But at times, the bad people who wants to do something wrong, they will take the advantage of this part, and then they just want to enter, just want to be at the lobby, maybe just to use the free Wi-Fi or just to utilize some services of the hotel. But nowadays, like we put more emphasis on these things where you need to do a profiling as well, and like frequently you need to be seen around in the lobby just to see that the common areas where the people are sitting, how long they are sitting, like, and how is the profile like. And generally, like even while conducting the security awareness training sessions, like we tell the other staff as well, because by now they know what is normal at the hotel. So the normal at the hotel is the guest is coming at the lobby, entering at the hotel, and they are going to the reception. Otherwise, they are going to the restaurant or the event or to the guest room. So whenever there is a abnormal activity, the person or the guest who has no business for visiting the hotel, he will be bit confused. He won't be that confident. And when such kind of a people, when we see around in the hotel lobby or somewhere else at the hotel, we need to monitor them discreetly. And then when you are confident that yes, now you have to approach and you have to, so there also you need to be like, you can be diplomatic, like you can just approach and say that like, yes sir, can I help you in some way. So that's how the conversation starts, and then you need to see that what answer the person is giving and what is the next question you need to ask, just to verify the person is the valid person or there is nothing wrong.
When complimentary breakfast is being served, I see freeloaders happily joining in because that is the area where customer should not be hassled unnecessarily first thing in the morning. And most of the time, the common excuse is that I didn't know that I need to bring, some document to prove that I am residing, I am the guest. So this is common practice. Yes,
uh, It used to be before, but now even the restaurant at the hostess nowadays, like they keep a check, or they keep, at times they keep even a in-house guest list where they verify, like they ask the guest the room number, and then they see that like how many people are there in the guest room. At times the one person is staying at the room, and the like two people came and they are telling the same room number. So that's how they verify. And at the same time, while like the even the hostess, like they need to understand, like, because now like if I have to give the example of our hotel, the our hotel is like very high end hotel, and looking at the guest, we can easily make out that who is your guest and who is literally not your guest. And many a times we find such people at the lobby who has no business to the visiting to the hotel. So profiling, you need to first understand what is your clientele, because our clientele base is like, because most of the time we receive that like MDs and CEOs of the companies visiting the hotel. So that's how you do the profiling. So when you see the profile, and then you have to be very discreetly or diplomatically asking the questions. And when you receive the answer, that is where you have to judge like how confident is the person, and how he is going around in the lobby, because all your in-house guests or registered guests will be very very confident and very very relaxed when they are at the hotel. So, and the unusual person won't be that relaxed or that confident. So that is where the other staff, even not only security, other staff at the reception or even at the reception of the restaurant, they play a very vital role, that when they observe something suspicious, they have to report that to the security, so that the security can come and then they can take over the situation, and from there on they can handle that.
so it is not only security department's concern. In fact, in hotel industry, every team has got a role to play towards security or maybe towards loss prevention program. And where your people in the lobby, those manning the reception desk or travel desk, they also have important role. And profiling is one uh, technique through which you will have a lot of potential miseries avoided. So, do you conduct any formal training for entire hotel staff in customer profiling?
Uh, Very good question, Captain Taggi. I would say this is like most crucial part of the current scenario, wherein you have to keep the even the security manning, even the cost factor on check all the time. So it's not, there is no liberty nowadays wherein just because you feel that okay, you can put two extra or four people extra at the security and you will put that. No, you have to justify even for each and every person at the security. So the other staff at the hotel, they play absolutely very crucial role, and they are like a force multiplier for the security department. We have very specific training modules for the entire staff, and we prepare a plan for the entire year, I would say. And there is a like security awareness session what we conduct for the entire team members of the hotel. And generally we keep a check, like we keep a list of the all the employees, and we see that like how many people have attended this training, because we have to make sure that maximum people must have attended the training. And we see that the person who have joined the hotel in those first 3 months, they must have gone through the security awareness training module, so that we share all those various like awareness videos with them, various, and that is specifically for the hotel and lodging industry. So that makes a huge difference. And during the training only, we encourage them that like when they notice something unusual, they have to say something. Like when you see something unusual, say something about it, not to keep to themselves or just to wait till end of their shift and then just informing their supervisor. No, they have to call the right away to the security.
Yeah, you see something, must say
Say something.
something. So that is everyone's concern when they see something unusual happening. They must report, and logically, it is either in hotel industry, either it is the reception or the security control room. Another area I found, and not only found, I was very consciously brought aware, made aware of this area where management might pay attention here after incident which was reported in America. After that, Black Life Matters. One of my course mate is owning two hotels in California and some other downtown areas. So he shared that a black family came to their pool, enjoyed their all the services, had good time for about 2.5 hours, and it was only much later that it was realized that they were not the guest in the hotel. So that is one thing. Second thing is that parking. Again, in the parking, people realize that anyone who is driving in with the car and parking it in the parking area is a bona fide guest, right? Because who is going to check? He might claim to be the guest only when he parks the car, goes to the lobby, and gets the room, right? The parking people are not aware of it. So any car driving in by the owner is permitted parking. The car in one of the hotel was found to be involved in hit and run case, and for the hotel management it took about a month. So now you are getting what I am hinting at, because there are a few areas, and these areas are dark areas. There is no communication between parking and reception, and even much later that which car belongs to which guest. Now my question is that I am sure you might be having something good, but then if it is not done, then share for benefit of other security professionals, and if it is done without actually mentioning the specifics, if you don't want, at least advise what is required to be done in such cases.
Generally, like if you have like when you have a hotel with the multiple restaurants and a huge banqueting space, you will have many guests visiting the hotel. And like nowadays, like everybody who is visiting the hotel, definitely they will have car, and they will be giving the car for your valets. So basically, like while taking the car, checking the car properly for any damage or any valuables left inside the car. That is like a valet's responsibility, and it should not be left to the outsourced valets only to handle these things. Somebody has to keep an eye on them. It should be maybe a front office or maybe a security. So someone is monitoring them and someone is taking care of that entire operation. Here, like if I have to call specifically about the like UAE market or even for the Qatar for that matter, even like they have now the ANPR like automated number plate recognition system at the even for the basements as well. So every car which is going to the basement, that gets in your record as well, and those records are like those systems are connected to the CID systems here. So anytime if they have to track any cars, like if it is there in the hotel or no, it is like very quick that you in that system you just put the car number and you can easily make out. Even if there are like 400 cars are parked, you can easily find out if the car is there also. And whenever there is like any damage to the car and also, then you become more like alert about it, and then you can keep an eye on them, like, and when the guests are coming, if you find them drunk, so there can be little more extra check can be kept. So I would say keeping a very close check on the overall valet parking operation, and your parking areas needs to be under the surveillance. So these are the like specific and few security things have been done, like as far as like our hotel or like few hotels in Dubai are concerned.
So that is area where you have already thought and you made your plan. I'm sure those security professionals who are watching this video are aware that if this is not already addressed by them, then this is the right time to do it, because it brings a lot of extended liabilities. Extended liabilities means, even the management is responsible for something which has happened in their premises, and like hit and run case, a property involved in a crime, uh, which is brought into the hotel and not getting noticed in within reasonable time, then there is a lot of responsibility, a lot of answering to be done. Vitthal, another point which comes to my mind is that there are hotels, big hotels, also having parties. So they have facilities, party areas. Many hotels also have disco, dance bars. Many things happen. People go there to have fun, frolic, enjoy themselves, and make noises. But then a time comes where the head of security decides that he must intervene because things are going out of control. So, how do you handle such situation when you know that there is no situation developing and you must intervene?
As far as we talk about the places where like it could be bar, disco, where you serve alcohol, even there you need to keep an eye that the a responsibility of the server when you are serving the alcohol, wherein you when you see that the people or the typical person like going overboard and he is not in a state where he can drink more further alcohol, the even the serving needs to be stopped. So that is the part on the F&B, the like food and beverage server who is like serving the alcohol. But these areas where you have like like more people getting at the one place, you need to be monitoring that those areas. You cannot leave the discos and such places just on the like food and beverage operation. So all these places, like you need to have additional security specifically on the weekends when you have a more of a guest visiting such venues. and then you keep on monitoring the operation there. And when you are discreetly monitoring, you will see that you can expect that something is wrong, or you can expect that there could be some interaction, or like there could be some argument, or some maybe issues within the guest. And there, better that you intervene before something happens. And that again, that intervention at the same time, like you intervene in a such a way that it is not looked as a more of an intrusive. So you are like security, at the same time you are a customer service associate. So you play a dual role, and then once you intervene, then you take a assistance from the duty manager on the manager on duty, to make sure that they are enjoying, but they are not causing any kind of incident where the other guest may get hurt, or there could be some kind of a security incident. So the best advice is like these areas or these places needs to be constantly monitored. We cannot just leave them, let something happen, and after that you will go to handle the situation. No.
So, what are the unreasonable demands which you would very strongly refuse to meet from the customers?
As I said, specifically, and it's a part of basically the hotel industry, wherein the hotel has a responsibility of like a care, wherein when you see that someone has already drunk, and like he's already had enough alcohol, then you have all the right to refuse to serve that alcohol. Because even it may not be at the hotel, but the person who is like overly drunk, and when they are driving back to their house, and he may get into some kind of accident, so those things may come back to the hotel, which may cause some kind of trouble for the hotel. So responsible serving of alcohol, that is the one thing where you have all the right that yes, at one point of time you can refuse the serving of alcohol. And when you see that something is going to be wrong, better you intervene before something goes wrong. So that is the two things that I would emphasize more.
The customer, who is the king, and they are spoiled silly. They can never be wrong. Customer is never wrong. With these type of philosophical statement, these statements spoil the spoiled customer already, and then binds the management in knots. This is what I feel. But then again, in hospitality sector, management is always very right, and it is prudent to treat customer as kings. So their unreasonable demands will not be met, and they need to be firmly told that this is the limit, no further anymore. Uh, However, there is a requirement of keeping this customer who has been frequenting your facility. And I believe that about 20-25 years back, most of the hotels had an album maintained where photographs were put, and security people were frequently shown that these are the people you must remember, recollect when you see their faces in the lobby at the reception, and be very, very alert. And such albums also had, girls' photograph for very, very obvious reasons. So, is that a practice still being continued, or how do you keep check on those unwanted guests, which are already having the history? So, Vitthal, I think I lost your connection, and till you come back again, the question I was asking, Vitthal, I'll repeat the question. I think a part is missed by you.
That there was like some trouble. Yeah.
Uh, so, Hall of Fame, they used to be albums where photographs were put of customers with the past history, and those customers, those albums were full of girls, ladies photographs also. And regions are well known in the hospitality sector. They know how many frequent visitors would come there, enjoy a cup of coffee, solicit business, and go out. So that kind of practice is still being followed, I believe, where staff is being alarmed of unwanted customer with past history when seen in the lobby area or your restaurant or all other facilities.
Specifically, Captain Tagi, if I have to talk about this, in India, I would say it is of a more where even the guest has caused any kind of trouble, and still they will try to visit the hotel, and there would be a very less that the hotel management or they can do about it. But here, like in some part of specifically for the Middle East, the law enforcement here, they are like quite strict on these things, wherein when we face any kind of difficulties with any troublemakers or the guests, like it's been encouraged to the hotel management that they can straight away contact the law enforcement. They are very quick in responding to such calls, and whenever there is a like guest at fault or he has like unruly behavior at the hotel, they have been very sternly and strictly been asked to leave from the hotel premises. So I would say it's like very different in India. Yes, it at some places I know that it must be like a big album to carry or to keep a track of various guests, but such things are like not really entertained when it comes to the in UAE, or for that matter in Qatar. Yes, it's very strictly handled by the law enforcement.
Uh, the last point of customers' activities inside the hotel would be checking out. Checking in to checking out, he has done not many activities, and maybe something he has done in between which he shouldn't have done. And when he notices that he was not noticed, he might be encouraged to do some silly thing, and that happens when a customer is checking out. What would be the ideal checkout drill for hotel for towards total loss prevention program? Because I know in one of the hotel there was a big heated argument at the reception, and the guest customer was shouting for being billed wrongly, and he was being billed for an ashtray, a painting, and a bathroom, right? And he was shouting that he is being billed wrongly. But then, when he was challenged that your belongings might be subjected to frisking, he happily paid the demanded amount. So, what is the checkout routine where even the security gets involved somewhere?
Very good question, Captain Tagi. Once again, specifically, it's a regular practice, or even a training for the food and beverage department, that like when it is announced by the front office or by the housekeeping, and nowadays like there is a software, like everything goes on a software. There's no need to call, like everything will go on the software, where when they announce the checkout, immediately someone from the housekeeping and the front office, food and beverage operation, they have to check the room if anything is missing from the room, if there is any more like consumption from the minibar, or any electronic items like maybe a press or iron or something else has been missing from the room, that needs to be checked immediately by the time the guest like checkout procedures are happening, and that need to be reported to the reception immediately, because still we face the difficulties where guests tend to like when they like something from the guest room, some amenities, they put it in the bag, and when like again it's again very diplomatically, when you when you deal with the guest and when you convey them, maybe by mistake you must have put that those things in your luggage. At times guests may not accept it, maybe a little bit drama at the reception. But when you are stern while and confident to speaking to the guest, they have to accept it, and there is no other way. And then like and the other part of it, like when you notice something during the stay at the hotel, don't wait for the guest till checkout. When you notice something, if tomorrow the guest has misbehaved or like spoken something wrong to the associate at the hotel, the management should not be accepting it. Like that needs to be dealt and handled at the same time, because that is where, okay, yes, at some point of time, yes, guest is very very important for us, because he's god as far as the hotel industry is concerned. But at the same time they cannot cross the line, and when they cross the line they need to be told then and there that that is not acceptable at the hotel. So once these things are mixed, then definitely they have to behave well if they want to receive the best of the services from the hotels.
Right. So, what is your
I cannot hear you, sir. Like I think you are mute.
what is your closing remark for our viewers? What is advice you would like to share with the fellow security professionals?
The best advice is like if like maybe many security professionals must be listening. So I would say the profession you have chosen, and now you are there for maybe some people maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So first of all, you have to take your profession very very seriously. You need to put in efforts to keep on learning. And then nowadays like we are so much dependent on the contractual security and all, so you have to put in great efforts in ensuring that we train them well. Because like even at the hotel you may have a staff of 40 people, but 30 out of them they are outsourced people. So how you select them and how you groom them, how you train them, that's what is going to shape your entire security program. So if you are a very much serious about your profession, then you will give your best efforts towards it. And it's like everyday learning. You keep on learning and you keep on improving. So that needs to be kept in mind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vitthal Teli, and I'm sure our viewers have gone through this discussion. They must have found many good takeaways, and I, for one, have not only enjoyed the discussion, but I also learned a lot through this discussion. Hospitality sector is close to another sector, which is healthcare sector. So from hospital, we'll go to from hospitality, we will go to hospital security in next session. Next discussion we'll have on this subject only. Uh, Thank you, Mr. Teli, for sparing your time and being with us for this discussion. And you are already one of the stakeholder representing your country in the industrial security fraternity as part of International Council of Industrial Security and Safety Management, and we'll request you to bring another value-added session for our viewers. Thank you very much. Till then, remain happy and healthy. And now my appeal to our viewers that for quality discussion, very sharply focusing on a specific niche of industrial security management. We go from sector to sector and bring real expert who has done on ground what they would bring to you through the discussion. If you want to have this benefit, kindly subscribe to our channel. And while you watch this video discussion, and if you found something useful, please mention in comment box. If you found something critical which you wanted to be added, also make mention there. and also share your ideas of the subjects which we should discuss in our next discussion. Till then, remain happy and healthy. And as promised, next discussion is going to be on hospital security. Thank you very much. Remain tuned in for next discussion.